This video is going to be a little bit different. I had one of my clients, the NS Nail Advice or assessment, professional assessment clients, sent me a video because she's been having trouble with her nail polish peeling. And from what she described, she does everything right. But very often people say, yes, I'm doing absolutely everything the way you are doing, but I'm not having the same results. So I asked her to send me a video, and this was very helpful. She told me it's okay to share the video, and she's going to show you how she applies the polish, and I'm going to tell you where I spot big differences from what I'm doing, and I have some hints. So here's what she wrote very quickly, because the pattern of how the nail polish is chipping also makes a difference. So she said some chipped slightly, quarter to half the nail, especially around the side walls and top corners, so the free edges. Some left little spots of surface damage, because again, that's very interesting. If something peels off very clean, that means that the polish failed with adhesion. So it came off completely clean. But if the polish came off the next day and it took layers of the nail, that means that the polish bonded really well, but the layers were not bonded with each other. So really the layers peeled off. My thumbs were the toughest and lasted the longest, had best adhesion. Yes, because her thumbs are stronger and they're thicker, which is absolutely normal. So in that case, that can sometimes tell me that maybe using, in her case, a hardener would be a good idea, because hardener helps the layers to be a little bit more bonded with each other, and then the nail is not as flexible and it holds the polish a little bit better. But let's see what else she says, and quickly I'll go over the video. I would have spots on the nail in the middle and around the skin fold cuticle area that would grip the nail pretty well. Okay, that's another very good hint. This would all happen within the first 24 hours, which that is a big hint as well. And I would typically just remove it to whatever was left with acetone. Okay, so let's see the video and I'll tell you what I think. By the way, when you are filming, sorry, try to film it or upload it this way, because that way I can stretch the video and I can see a little bit better. And also try to upload it in the best quality, because that way I can see a little bit better and on a white background, because usually when you have a black background, the camera just makes everything too bright and then I can't see. Okay. Number one, I see a big difference already. So number one is how I clean the nails. So normally you see me grab, or I explain that I grab a cotton pad, or lately I've been using kitchen towel. The reason why I use a kitchen towel and with alcohol is that it's a very thin fabric and I can easily use my nails and guide my nails with the towel around them and really scrub the sidewalls and the cuticle area, and also underneath the free edge. Brush is not going to do that. Yeah, it's not going to remove squeaky clean the whatever you have on your nails, because sometimes you have some oils, sometimes you have creams, whatever. The towel is a better idea. Isopropyl alcohol, which is good. Yeah, not probably good enough. Okay, so now, so what she showed earlier was the base coat was opaque, was not warm enough, so she put it in a glass of hot water. Now the base coat is clear, so now it's ready to be applied. If the base coat is not clear, it's going to peel off. So this isn't always my first question when people are saying that the product is peeling off, because sometimes it's not warmed up. In her case, that's not the issue. Now it's perfect. So she's showing me how much polish she has on her brush. But the thing is, this product dries so quickly. You want to make sure that you go from the bottle to the nail pretty quickly, because it can start setting up on the brush, and then the polish is not going to bond as well to the surface. So one coat of the base coat on the thumbs. I let it dry 5 minutes, avoiding touching on anything, including face or hands. Wait until the base coat is dry. So until it's matte. It usually doesn't take 5 minutes, but we'll see. I can see right away that she probably has way more product. She touched the skin here. That will make it peel off. Now this is a big problem, a big problem. You see, I have a feeling this is why the product is peeling, and I understand many people swear by wrapping the free edge, but if you can wrap it properly without touching the skin underneath, maybe that's great. But I found it to be problematic, especially with the Dazzle Dry, because if the base coat is applied too thick, it almost like really never dries. It becomes like a gel on the free edge. And if you just touch it with the corner of your brush, just touch it lightly, that's okay. But I find when you are putting the brush along the free edge like this, it can smear underneath and it can be a goopy area that will never dry. So again, she's not showing me how she's pulling the brush out of the bottle. So I made a video on how I do the application process, which I will link in a video in the description box below, but I'm going to explain to you quickly how I do it. So first I mix the polish properly with the base coat. Okay, I roll it until it gets warm. Then what I do when I pull it out of the bottle, okay, I am just thinking, but you're not gonna see this. What I do is I scrape the not the neck, the stem of the brush here against the opening. So that way I don't have a stem full of product that it's going to drip onto my brush and then drip onto the nail. So what I do is I scrape it, and then I scrape one side of the brush completely. And then very often I scrape the other side, just leaving tiny bit on the bottom of the brush. With that, I apply it. Also, it's very difficult to polish the nails, paint polish, whatever the way she is doing. I find it's much easier to place my hand, okay, here, on my lap, because she's painting like this. The nails are pointing down, so then she's touching it up and touching the free edge. The way I do it is I hold the nails almost like kind of like this, and I'm supporting my hand, and then I'm really that hand is supported, and I'm not sure if she's supporting this hand. It's very difficult to make very exact movements with the hand being like this. So here you see this little pinky, I'm supporting it, and then I polish very precisely, and then I turn the hand to see what I'm doing. When the hand is like this and like this, it's difficult. You're at the more difficult. It's not a wrong angle, it's just more difficult to get that angle. I will be polishing slowly. Again, touch the skin. Much more pressure, and this is seen so often with regular polishes. I find that what people do is they kind of go like this with Dazzle Dry, or especially with gels. I guess maybe this is why it was a little bit easier for me at the beginning, because I'm so used to gel and putting pressure on the brush, tilting the nail side to side to make sure that I'm covering everything, and I'm putting pressure, because just covering something lightly is not going to be the same with nail polish. It's still okay, but with the gel polish you have to put pressure. You have to press that polish into the nail from different angles, making sure your pressure is good. Going like this, sometimes it's not going to give you the same pressure. Also, I'm seeing the brush, it's not splaying a little bit. When I work with the brush, I'm going to actually do this so I'm going to film it in a second so I can show you how I do it, and I'm actually very curious if you're going to spot the difference. Okay, so now you see all that time has passed. So this base coat already is set up a little bit, and then she again is touching with slightly set up base coat to the free edge, and it's probably making it a little bit messy. Way too much product there, way too much product. And another thing that I'm seeing, and I'm already like getting nervous, is that bottle being opened. And please understand that I'm not trying to pick on what she's doing. But of course, if I just make this video going, oh my God, wow, it's so amazing, you're not gonna benefit from it, and she's not gonna benefit from this. So I'm just trying to be as helpful as possible. Try to keep the bottles always covered with a brush. Another thing, this is becoming a really long video, I'm really sorry, but I have so much information that I want to share. So when I initially opened the bottle, I scraped the stem, I wiped the side of the brush. Okay, I polished the nail. This is important, when I put it back, I don't put it back again all the way down and like mix it or anything. No, I just put it again. Let's say if the surface is here, I'm actually looking at the bottle, because usually I hold it. And I put the brush down just enough to cover enough bristles that I need to, okay? I don't just put it all the way down, so then the whole stem gets messy again and everything is dripping. No, I just place it down and then again I wipe it. So that way I will pick up the precise amount of product needed for the nail. These polishes are extremely easy to apply, very forgiving. See, so she's picking it up, she's not wiping anything. I guess just to show me the color in this instance. But you see how the stem is here full of polish? This is going to drip and it's going to leave a thick surface, thick polish application. Amount on the brush. And I'm noticing here something, she's covering this, which is extremely common. Everyone works like that. You just have to understand which angle you're working a little bit incorrectly. So she's doing this angle correctly, sorry, this side correctly, and then this side she's not covering as much. So she might get more peeling because this other side here is not covered properly. And it's not, she's probably not giving enough pressure on that side. You know what I mean? Because obviously we see this side better, but then this side is a little bit more difficult. So you have to really twist the finger to see this. I think overworking the polish again a little bit and touching it up, too much product that's already drying and touching the skin. Let it dry 5 minutes. So in 5 minutes, it's difficult for me to see if the polish is dry enough because the lighting is a little bit off. And you know, the way it's difficult to film yourself, trust me, I know, because especially when you're working, this is why I have it took me a while to learn how to work comfortably but still under the camera, because what's happening is the camera right now is focusing on this area and not really on her nail, so this is fuzzy. So sometimes moving away and making sure that that nail is in the middle and that hand does not get in the way is important. So here it's difficult for me to say or to see if this is becoming very film-like almost looking, because Dazzle Dry coats are very different from traditional nail polish. Their choice of the film forming ingredient is different. So normally polishes have nitrocellulose as their film forming ingredient, and Dazzle Dry has a different system, and it has a different film forming ingredient. That's why it dries very quickly. It also has slightly different solvents that are drying very quickly, and it creates a very thin film. It's not as plump as the nitrocellulose based film. So in order to apply a second coat, the first coat has to dry completely to a matte finish almost. This is too much for such small nail, I think. Yeah. See how we polish? We kind of almost lift it up a little bit, having that nail a bit of an angle. You know, again, this comes down to practice. yeah, wrapping the free edge with way too much product. So it takes quite a lot of practice to apply just enough polish that you don't have to go over and over and over again to smooth it, because once the polish goes on, it starts to move around, especially these pearly polishes, a little bit. So I would say applying a little bit less. But then yes, sometimes when you apply not enough, then you don't have enough polish, and then you have to go back into the bottle, which that is a disaster, because by then the polish dries on the nail. So it just takes a little bit time. Sometimes having a little bit too much is better than not enough, but then remember this and realize, okay, I had too much on my brush. Next time I'm going to grab less. Who knew that polishing would be this difficult, right? You see, this area here is not covered properly. I can see the shadow and the top coat. Okay, so she did add some revive to the color and the top coat, as they were quite thick before filming. The small bottles are not the easiest to work with sometimes. I mean, if you're new, the polish is not cheap, so sometimes buying those small kits is not a bad idea. I have a feeling it's due to just applying too much on the free edge. So now she's gonna do just the thumb with a base coat and top coat. That coating I often recommend, or do I recommend? I just say that it's usually it's more gentle on the nail surface, especially for people that have damaged nails or people that are very concerned with the condition of their natural nails. That combination seems to be wearing very gently and for a long time for many of my clients, and they don't get any yellowing or anything. My favorite clear coating, honestly. That one, you see that now she's overworking it. And there was not enough product on this side here. It needs to have like a nice plump application. This is going to, sometimes things peel because this, again, my background with gels. So you have to, when it comes to gels, you have to be insanely clean with your application. So the cuticle area has to be spotless. There can't be a fleck of dust, nothing, or any type of oil or any type of moisture. It has to be pristinely clean. Then when you put a base coat, it has to have that coat, that coat of base coat has to be applied perfectly in like a good line. It can't have like these little uneven areas, because from those uneven areas it's going to start peeling. It has to create like a nice seal, okay? And then when you are applying the gel has to follow the base coat exactly. So it has to go perfectly on where the base coat went, and it has to have like a good even amount of gel all over like that area. So when you have some areas that are with base coat going all over the place, then gel does not meet the base coat properly and also goes all over the place. 100% you're gonna get lifting, unless, I don't know, you have some magical nails. But so I think that really helped me when it comes to polish application. It's kind of similar. You have to have the base coat nice and clean and even line. Then when you're applying polish, you should follow that base coat and apply it very well, and follow the shape of the base coat. Once that area is nice and clean, if you have to touch it up or something, touch it up, and then it's going to almost, when it dries, it shrinks, and then it shrinks properly, and it creates a good seal and nothing peels. I think that is one of the most important things, because when you put it something like all over the place, it's just not going to seal properly and it's going to start lifting. And once one piece starts lifting, it takes the rest with it. That's the thing, because you cannot allow anything to, it's like tape. So when you have a tape on a roll, you always make that little lip so you can pick it up later, right? If you don't make that lip, it's going to be very difficult. So with this application, you want to make sure that there is no lips so the polish won't peel. I hope this was helpful. Guys, send me your videos, okay? So I can make more of these videos and hopefully really help you with your nail polish application, or even with manicures, anything you want. I'll comment on it, okay? Thank you so much for watching. Bye. Now the base coat. See, the brush still has a little bit of cold base coat. I'm going to wait. Normally you just roll the base coat. I hope I'm not giving you headache. And this is what I do. I just wipe the brush to make sure that it's not full of that gunky product. And I'm going to show you how I clean it up. You see this little movement and this. So for the thumb, I would need probably like this amount. For a smaller nail, I would need less. So I'm going to first show you how I see that she applied it. Basically, okay, I'm going to put this just so I don't get it all over my jeans. Okay, see? Kind of like this. Kind of flooding a little bit like this, and then going like this. I think I apply a quarter of this. So see how now there is some base coat. Now I flooded the skin here. So this is going to take forever to dry. I can also see that the base coat, hopefully you can see it, it's not drying evenly. You see these wavy little areas. And also uneven areas. See this area here is not covered. This has quite a lot of polish, and this one has very little. This one again has more polish. This has more polish. This is pure acid. So this is how I would do it. Make sure. And you know what? Normally I clean this part a little bit better. I don't know why it got so much gunk on it, but whatever. See, clean, clean, clean. This much. And I quickly get it off somewhere away from the skin. Okay. See how my pinky is of my other hand? Turn this to the side, pressure and pressure. And yes, now it's okay to touch it a little bit. You can do it. But can you spot the difference? And I'm going to wait for this to dry to show you how matte this should be. So I don't look at the time when I'm drying the base coat. I look at how the base coat looks. So, because sometimes, you know, it's cooler. Sometimes there's more humid. Sometimes your hands are colder. So it's going to vary. I have clients that I finish application on the last finger and the first one is like bone dry because they have warmer hands or it's less humid in the room or something. So as you can see now, see how evenly matte? There was a little bit still wetness here. Other than that, see throughout the texture of the nail, okay? And I'm going to wait for this little piece to dry. You know what I do sometimes, and this is not, this is just basically to learn how dry this first coat is. I touch it. It should be dry because sometimes when it's goopy, then it teaches you that you're applying too much on the free edge. And make sure that you don't apply nail polish on like this gooey surface because the nail polish is going to stick to it and it starts getting stringy and you just mess up your bottle of polish. So now this shows me this is good. Okay, See? Now I'm going to show you the polish. See how cleanly, I clean the side. Okay. Now, this, I put it away from the free edge, get off most of the gel, feel for the shape of the brush. And you know what I'm doing? I don't have my proper glasses. I was doing a video yesterday at home, my manicure, and I took my glasses there. Okay, so it looked like I touched it, but in this case, I'm going to show you how I deal with this. These are my regular, no, this is good. I didn't touch it. These are my regular reading glasses, and for work, which are 2, and for work I use 3. Just gives you an idea how. And I would not be touching up the free edge. No, I wouldn't. You can see that it's becoming dull, and you can start seeing the texture of the natural nail underneath. Here it's still quite wet, so we're going to wait until this dries properly, and then I'm going to apply a second coat. So most of it is now dry, you see. This is dry, and this is not dry here. This is dry. So you want the nail polish to dry naturally. So you don't want to be blowing on it or making funny hand movements, because for sure you're gonna hit something. Okay, guys, don't judge me. I honestly don't know what the heck happened with my Dazzle Dry top coat. I had it here and I cannot find it. So I'm going to use a different top coat that has a similar thickness. Okay, so this amount, okay. Wipe it. Wait until the polish drops a little bit. And you see how I'm looking at that little bead that's coming from under the brush? Okay, I have to use a little bit more. Okay, this is good. Yeah, that's how it needs to be applied. I also would not be wrapping the free edge. Yeah. Let me know what you see, if you see the difference.